Well, good morning, Kentuckiana. It is 6:01 here on your Thursday morning. Thanks for sticking with us here on GMK. I'm Jim Stratman. A lovely look at a dark downtown this morning. The buildings all lit up, waiting for sunrise. And meteorologist Matt Breland waiting for sunrise as well. Matt, it's going to be hopefully another pretty day outside.
We're expecting at least clouds, but the rain chance is staying away from us at least for today. We are tracking the arrival of some cloudy conditions, so we're waiting on sunrise to happen for us, but not much longer after sunrise, we will see the arrival of cloudy conditions. Now, temperatures are off to a bit of a cooler start. 24 London, 29 downtown, 28 Iroquois Park, and also into the 20s for southern Indiana, 22 Bedford, 25 Seymour. Those north winds continue to bring in this cooler air, but hey, the 20s and 30s, I believe that's nothing compared to what we've had over the last several weeks here in Kentuckiana. Here's those clouds that I'm talking about. They're making their way closer and closer into parts of southern Indiana. We're about to start seeing them develop just as we enter the later hours of our morning time, and we're actually in store for a bit of an overcast trend throughout the rest of our day. Now, we are expected to stay dry for today, but as we enter our weekend, that's whenever the rain chances will be returning. Temperatures will be continuing to stay in the 20s throughout the rest of our morning hours into the afternoon. As those clouds arrive in, we'll see temperatures start rising into the mid-40s. Later into the nighttime hours, those clouds start to break apart and we'll start headed into the lower 30s once again to start off our Friday morning with more sunshine in the forecast throughout Friday afternoon. Here's a look at your bus stop forecast. Temperatures are still going to be a bit cooler on your way to school, 27 with a few passing clouds. On your way back, those temperatures will be in the mid-40s with mostly cloudy conditions. So we are going to see a cloudy day across Kentuckiana, but still expected to stay dry. And that's a look at your weather details for now. More coming up soon. We do have two delays for your morning. First one on I-265, an accident on the entry ramp on Gene Snyder Freeway, and that is on ramp from Westport Road, exit 32. Also on I-264, a disabled vehicle on the entry ramp on the Waterston eastbound from Bardstown Road. Keep that in mind. Jim?
Thank you very much. We turn now to our top story this morning. We are just a couple of days away from a massive school board meeting that will decide the fate of hundreds of JCPS jobs. New numbers released earlier this week are outlining the number of jobs currently on the chopping block, plus hundreds of new jobs that the district wants to add. All of those details pushed board members to delay a vote on Tuesday night. And now our own Ian Hardwick and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton are taking a look at what the board will have to vote on in less than 48 hours.
At a packed school board meeting Tuesday night, we learned for the first time that the number of jobs to be cut from JCPS will exceed 300. Superintendent Brian Yearwood said central office jobs means jobs paid from the central office even if they work in schools.
We're looking at eliminations of about 600 of those positions.
So, if we're cutting 300 central office jobs, let's do the math. Using JCPS's own numbers, we have 213 occupied positions cut with 74 vacant positions cut, equaling 287 total cuts. But factor in the 178 new positions and you end up with 109 net cuts. However, subtract from that the number of already unfilled positions and you're left with 35. And at the same time, Yearwood's organizational charts show expansions in the top of the district food chain. For example, more secondary superintendents. But Jefferson County Teacher Association President Maddie Shepard supports adding new teaching coaches that oversee each grade level.
There wasn't really a district level investment in that in the past, and there will be now, so I guess that's good. But by and large, schools are really taking the brunt of the budget cuts.
The teachers union showed up in red to protest the job losses in schools, leading up to $132 million in cuts the district's trying not to fall through its own cracks in the budget. Ian Hardwick for WHAS11 News on your side.
Now, we will be following the JCPS news over the next couple of days, keeping you up to date on the budget, the issues, the layoffs, all of that. If you want the best way to get the latest information, download the WHAS11 Plus app on your smartphone and on your TV. Well, this morning, residents of a J-Town apartment complex are left without a home, and you'll be able to see why in just a second. A fire bringing down the roof of that complex just off of Taylorsville Road. J-Town Fire say they got to the scene around 2:30 in the afternoon. First, Firefighters had to find a hydrant that they could use, and in order to do that, they had to dig one out that was covered by all the snow and the ice that is still sticking around. 12 units were damaged by that fire, but we're told nobody was hurt. A resident described the chaos once she stepped outside.
We heard a car alarm going off and then somebody honking over and over again, and we just thought somebody like wrecked in front of the apartment building, and we came out and everyone's just running and we hear someone yell fire.
The Red Cross is assisting any of the impacted residents out there. The cause of that fire is currently under investigation. Well, some Floyd County residents could see a rise in their taxes due to a potential merger between two firefighting departments. A proposed consolidation plan could make taxes higher for people living in the Highlander Fire District. That area of southern Indiana includes Greenville and Floyd's Knobs. The Highlander District wants to combine with the Floyd County Fire Protection Territory. At a public hearing, leaders with Highlander say that the consolidation is necessary due to the lost tax revenue they've seen from SB 1.
In general, we have issues across the state and across the country of financial support for fire service.
This unified approach will further enhance both member and community safety.
So here's the page where we're calculating the
Consolidation still. A vote on that is expected to come during a meeting on March 11th. Well, a Kentucky bill known as the Crystal Rogers Act is one step closer to becoming law.
93 members voting aye, no members voting nay. House Bill 305 is amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 3 is passed.
You heard it right there. With that vote, the Kentucky House unanimously voted to pass the Crystal Rogers Act, which looks to protect the secrecy of grand jury testimony. Under this bill, the statute of limitations for recordings or releasing secret grand jury proceedings would be bumped up to 10 years, and it would also increase the accountability in most serious cases. Crystal's mother, Sherry Ballard, pushed for this bit of legislation, and it comes after prosecutors revealed the family of Brooks Houck secretly recorded their grand jury testimonies. Representative Candy Massaroni from Bardstown filed that bill.
While recording grand jury proceedings is already illegal in Kentucky, no charges were brought because the 1-year statute of limitations had expired by the time the investigators discovered the recordings. That is a gap in the law.
The bill will now go to the Kentucky Senate, and if it passes there, the Senate will the bill will then head to the governor's desk to either be signed into law or vetoed. The Commonwealth's attorney here in Louisville is now joining a list of public figures who are disapproving of a judge's decision to cut a prison sentence for a convicted rapist. A jury convicted Christopher Thompson of kidnapping, rape, robbery, and recommended a 65-year sentence. Last week, Circuit Court Judge Tracy Davis reduced that recommendation to just 30 years. Judge Davis says that Thompson never had a mental health or anger management treatment before. And the Commonwealth's attorney, now attorney Jarena Weathers, said that she is backing the jury's recommendation.
And that we believe, based on the evidence, that we need to move forward in trial, that's why we're there, then we are going to move forcefully to make sure that the sentencing that happens with the jury is carried out.
Weathers continue to say the jury is there for a reason. They review the evidence, they hear the witnesses, and they recommend a punishment that fits the crime. Well, happening a little bit later on today, you will be able to step inside the Kentucky Expo Center to get a look at the largest farm machinery show in the country. Plus, the 57th Championship Tractor Pool will get underway this weekend with more than 200 drivers from across the U.S. and Canada ready to compete to see who's best. Our own Hayden Sorgenfry is inside the Expo Center, giving us a live look over at the John Deere section, taking a look at some of that farm machinery. Here in the next hour or so, Hayden will be heading over to the Broadbent Arena. Take a look at some of those competitors going to be racing in the tractor pool coming up this weekend. We'll be checking in with him all morning long. But first, let's go ahead and get over to meteorologist Matt Breland, who is tracking, Matt, you say the coldest day of the week.
That's right. We are continuing to track a chilly pattern for the morning hours. Into the afternoon, we'll see temperatures reach the mid-40s. And yes, today will be our coldest day of the week. Following into all the next upcoming days, we're going to have temperatures more in the 50s and 60s. Those details coming up in a few short minutes.